Good evening to everybody. Welcome to the Family Law class that I am dealing the yesterday that I dealt. What I dealt yesterday? Anyone? What I did yesterday, what today that I am going to deal?
Guardianship,
And what I am going to deal
kind,
today?
guardians, guardianship, types of guardians, removal of guardian, difference between Shia and Sunni law,
What I am going to deal today?
succession and inheritance.
Yes. What is the difference between the succession and inheritance? Please read what I posted on the screen so that I could know that you are with me and I am with you. Okay. Read.
Succession under Muslim law. Succession is different from inheritance. Inheritance is a process of the heir inheriting his ancestors' property. Succession governs how the inheritance would take place. Typically, under Indian succession law, a succession certificate is required. Professor Dr. Mehmet Sahib Hussain.
So succession is different from inheritance because you inherit the property through the succession. So if the succession governs, means succession is the law. And succession governs how the inheritance would be taken place or take place. Of course, typically under Indian succession law and succession certificate is required over there. So now let us see that how inheritance will be work. Yes. Now let us see here the same thing that I put it over there. Then inheritance under the Muslim law. Summary, let us see an analysis of the Muslim law of inheritance and how property is given to the sharers and residuaries upon the death of an ancestor. If you happen to see the Sunni law, you will have how many types of the sharers are there? If you know it, you tell me. If you don't know it, you say pass on.
Sir, repeat once again, sir.
Repeat itself is once again. So either you say, sir, repeat, or sir, say once again. How many types of the sharers are there in Sunni law? Did you hear me? Did you get me? Say pass on, I will give the answer.
Pass on, sir.
There are three types of the shares are there under the Sunni law. Number one, Quranic shares. Number two, residuaries. Number three, distant kindred. But when you come to the Shia law, you have only two shares. Number one, Quranic shares. A little difference would be there. Here, Sunni law, some 11 or 12 is there, but in Shia law, there are 9 or 7 is there. And residuaries. If the property is devolved in form of the inheritance will be exhausted by the sharers, then zero share or zero property will get the residuaries. So if the property is exhausted, then residuaries will not get it. If the property is left over there, then the residuary will get the chance to get it. Now let us say the sharers. What are the types of the sharers are there? Muslim law of succession and property derives itself from the religious text sacred to the specific religion, namely the four different Islam law sources. These have been used to create these rights for both men and women under this law. So, what are the four sources of Muslim law? The main primary sources. If you know it, you tell me. If you don't know it, say pass on.
Pass on, sir.
See, on the screen itself is written there. This includes Holy Quran is there. That is the first of the sources. Second is the Sunnah is there. That is the Hadith. That is the activities of
Quran,
the Prophet
Sunnah,
Muhammad.
Ijma, the legislature.
Third is Ijma. The four is Qiyas. These are the primary sources of there, of the Muslim law. Of course, secondary sources. If you know it, you tell me. If you don't know it, say pass on. Don't waste the time.
legislation, judicial, conscious.
Customs, urf, legislations, and precedents. Of course, those are the secondary sources. Okay, now let us see that because I already told you the four sources. Yes, also I made it because these are the four sources there in the Islamic law for that one. And let us see the shares, how it will happen. Moreover, under the Muslim law, exactly two different kinds of shares are recognized, which can be categorized as sharers, that is called Quranic sharers, and residuaries. These are the only two types, but the Sunni law having the distant kindred also. While sharers refer to the individuals who have an entitlement towards a certain property of the deceased. Residuaries refer to those individuals who shall be entitled to the property which is left behind after the entitlement of the property to the sharers. If the property would be left over there after division of the sharers, then it will go to the residuaries. If not, nothing will go to the residuaries. Moreover, the Muslim Personal Law, within parenthesis Shariat Application Act of 1937, is applicable in case of the non-testamentary succession, which means succession in the absence of a will. You know intestate succession and testate succession? Intestate and testate?
Yes, sir.
Just tell me.
Interstate is without will, and testamentary is with will. Interstate is if a person died without giving will, then his property is shared among the heirs. And if in testamentary succession, if he writes a will and dies, then the property is shared according to heirs according to testamentary succession.
That is called will. Okay, and for the testamentary succession, which will, when the deceased has made a will, the Muslim Shariat law is applied for the same as practiced by the Sunni and Shia Muslims. However, it is important to note that in case of the testamentary succession for immovable property, which is particularly located in the state of the West Bengal, or property which falls within the jurisdiction of the Bombay Madras courts, the succession is conducted as per the Indian Succession Act 1925. But anyway, that point is there. One thing is there. Because if anybody wants to make the succession to the personal law, naturally they will follow the personal law rule. But when the testate will be there, means the testate means writing the will would be there, then they will follow the Indian Succession Act. So Indian Succession Act, irrespective of the religion, caste, also it can be followed. So that's what I want to say. Of course, it is Indian Succession Law. Generally, it will be applicable to. Yes.
All Indians. All Indians.
Why all Indians? Why the Muslims also the Indian members? But does it apply the Indian Succession Act? If the marriage is done and conducted the Special Marriage Act, then Indian Succession Act will be attracted. Of course, with will, without will, it will work over there, because for the Christian Succession Act is there. Is it there, or is it applicable to everyone? Well, let us see that when you go further, we know that when you can use it. So property which divulge to the sharers, round about how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then 12 sharers are there under the Sunni law. Number 1, husband. Number 2, wife. Number 3, daughter. Number 4, any daughter of son or sons, sons, and so on. Next, father. Next, the paternal grandfather. Next, mother. Next, grandmother on the main line. Next, full sister. Next, consanguine sister. Next, uterine sister. The last one is uterine brother. Can you tell me what is the difference between the consanguine sister and uterine sister? If you know it, you tell me. If you don't know it, say pass on.
Uterine sister is same mother but different father, and consanguine is same father but different mother. I think.
And what about the same father and mother?
Full blood.
Full sister. Okay. It's okay. It is important to learn that the share required by the each respective sharers varies depending upon certain specific conditions. For example, a wife is entitled to get 1/4 of the share in a situation wherein a couple dies, a couple does not have any lineal descendants, whereas in other instances, the share is equivalent to 1/8. See, the wife position is, if the lineal descendant would be there means prepositus children. Prepositus means a person who died. So, if the husband died, wife is left over there, and the wife share, she will get 1/4 if there are no children are there. If the children are there, then she will get 1/8. Who? Who?
Wife, sir. Wife.
I say widow also. But wife, because husband died, what will happen? She will become
Widow.
widow. Either you say wife and widow, doesn't matter, because here no widow is written there. Did you see any widow here?
No.
So that's why we should not use the word widow also. We should use the word wife. Agreed?
Sir.
Yes, however, the husband, in case of the succession, the wife's state would be entitled to acquire half of the share under a situation wherein there exists no lineal descendant and 1/4 of the share in the case they do. That means the husband, in the case of succession of the wife's state, suppose here wife died, then husband is there. Then husband, how much he will get? Would be entitled to acquire half of the share under a situation. What situation? Wherein there exists no lineal descendant, means no children are there to the deceased wife. So he will get half. Suppose if there are descendants and 1/4 from half, which is big, 1/4 is big or half is big?
Half is big.
Half is big. No children, half. Children, 1/4. 1/4 share in case they do, because they have the children. In the case of the sole daughter, she would be entitled half the share under a situation where the deceased has left behind more than one daughter. Then every daughter is entitled to jointly acquire 2/3 of the share in the property. If the only one daughter is over there, at that instant, how much she will get? Half of the share means 1/2. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Half of the share means 1/2. Suppose if the 2 daughters are there or 3 daughters are there, they equally distributed from the 1/2. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
ఇప్పుడు ఈ 2 డాటర్లు ఉన్నాయనుకోండి, ఎట్లా కలపండి? 2 డాటర్లకు 1/2 పంచాల. ఏం చేయాలండి? ఇంటూ 1/2 ఇంటూ పెట్టాలనా? ఇంటూ 2 పెట్టాలనా అండి? డివిజన్ చేయాలి 1/2 1/2 2 డాటర్లకు. మళ్ళీ 2 కలుపుకుంటే 1/2 రావాలా మళ్ళీ?
1/4 అవుతుంది సార్. 2 ఈచ్ వన్ 1/4 వస్తుంది.
1/4 వస్తుందా? ఎల్సిఎం కట్టండి, ఇద్దరికి ఏం చేయండి, వాళ్ళిద్దరిని కూడుకుంటే మళ్ళీ 1/2 రావాలా? చూడండి, కూడుకండి. సపోజ్ 1/4 పెట్టుకుందాం అనుకుందాం. 1/4 ప్లస్ 1/4 ఎల్సిఎం ఇస్ 4. ఓకే, అంటే 4 అంటే 4 1 టైమ్ అండ్ 4 1 టైమ్ 2/4. 2/4 అంటే 1/2. కరెక్టే కదా? ఓకే, సో if there more members, in case of the sole daughter, he would be entitled to the half of the share under a situation where their deceased has left behind the more than one daughter. Every daughter is entitled to jointly acquire 2/3 of the share in the property. Of course, the entire property of the 2/3 they will get it. It is an equation they have given. Suppose if many daughters are there, then the half will be, when the sole daughters are there, when the half will be shared, then each one get 2/3, 2/3, 2/3. In that way, I believe. it get it. But anyway, we don't worry, we will get the calculation now. With the animation, I will show you calculation. Now, in the situation wherein the deceased has left behind one daughter and one son, the propositus means a person who died, one daughter and one son. Then in that situation, generally, the daughter will not be given the right is sharer, but a residuary instead, acquiring the residue left after the sharers have acquired the share of the property. There is done ensure that the son shall have always acquired the double the property than which he goes to the daughter or daughters. అయితే ఓన్లీ వైఫ్ ఉన్నది అండ్ 2 daughters ఆర్ దేర్. అంటే జనరల్లీ మనం చదువుకున్నాం పైన ఏమని, చిల్డ్రన్ ఉంటే 1/8 వస్తుంది, చిల్డ్రన్ లేకుంటే 1/4 వస్తుంది అని చదువుకున్నాం మనం పైన. అయితే డాటర్స్ ఉన్నారు ఇక్కడ, సారీ చిల్డ్రన్స్ ఉన్నారు. కానీ ఈ చిల్డ్రన్స్లో ఏమున్నది, 1 daughter ఉన్నది, 1 son ఉన్నది. సో నౌ ద ప్రాపర్టీ ఏ విధంగా అవుతుంది, 1/8 ఏమో ఇట్ గోస్ టు ద వైఫ్ డెఫినెట్లీ, అంటే వాళ్ళ మదర్కి వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. మిగతా దాంట్లో ఏంటుంటుంది, దాంట్లో ఆ 1/8 పోయిన తర్వాత ఇది 1లో నుండి 2 shares, 2 quantum అంటారు, 2 quantum ఫర్ ద మేల్ అండ్ 1 quantum ఫర్ ద ఫీమేల్. అది 2:1లో డివిజన్ చేసుకోవాలి. అయితే దాంట్లో మరీ కొంచెం పాయింట్ ఉన్నది. సార్ 2:1 అన్నారు కదా సార్, మరి 2 sons ఉంటే దట్ విల్ బి డివైడెడ్ అమంగ్ ద 2 అందులోకి వెళ్ళి డివైడ్ అవుతుంది. డాటర్స్ ఉన్నారనుకో, దాంట్లోకి వెళ్ళి డివైడ్ అవుతుంది, మళ్ళీ ఏది 1 షేర్లకి వెళ్ళి డివైడ్ అవుతుంది. 1 daughter కాబట్టి 1 quantum వచ్చింది. డిడ్ యూ గెట్ మై పాయింట్? ఓకే, యూ విల్ గెట్ ఇట్, డోంట్ వరీ. వెన్ ఐ షో ద ఇన్ యానిమేషన్ యూ విల్ నో ఇట్, హౌ మచ్ దే విల్ గెట్. So the different kind of succession under the Muslim law is, there are 2 different ways in which the succession occurs under the law for any estate or property. Yes, this is known as testamentary succession and non-testamentary succession. Yes, now you read this thing, which I am highlighting you. Read.
Under a non-testamentary succession, the Muslim Personal Law Shariat Application Act 1937 shall be applicable. However, on the other hand, in case an individual has died after the creation of a valid will, then the inheritance under this situation shall be governed under the relevant Muslim Shariat law as applicable to the Shias and the Sunnis respectively.
Yes. So now, suppose he left the will. If you don't left the will, how it can be divided? That is a question would be there. So, personal law will come into the picture when no testamentary will is written. Means intestate. If the testamentary will is written, then as accordingly it will be divided. The will will be divided according to the way that he wrote it. So that was the thing which is clearly made over here. So if in a situation the subject matter in question is that of immovable property which is located within the state of course this Bengal, Chennai, Bombay, Muslim also will be under the Indian Succession Act will be applicable over them. However, the exception exists only under situation testamentary succession. If the testamentary succession would be there, naturally it will be divided as per the testamentary succession. If nothing would be there, either it goes with the Indian Succession Act provisions. If the people are there, 2 are the personal law, then the personal law will become. But when the 2 Muslims are there, definitely, what will applicable? It is a Quranic laws when there is no will. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
If the will would be there, then automatically Indian Succession Act could be applicable over there. Because whatever the will that he wrote it, if anything goes wrong, that we will check it. If it is not there, will is not there, then naturally we will follow the sources of Muslim law. So several other rights conferred under the Muslim law depending upon your position and relationship with the deceased has been explained further below. That divulging the property as per the birthright. So how the property will be there for the birthright. Under Muslim law, any inheritance of property occurs only after the death of an individual, not any other occasion. So naturally, property division will come at that instance only when there would be a death. When the death would be there, then only the property will be distributed. This implies that no person under the Muslim law acquires any property in his or her name upon their birth. If merely getting the birth over there, you are not going to get it. Of course, you will get it, but when your father is died or mother is died. Is it clear? Say yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, in case heirs lives even after the death of the ancestor, he becomes the next legal heirs and is only then entitled to a share in the property. Because survivorship is very important factor. However, in a situation wherein such an heir does not survive his ancestor, then no such right of inheritance or share the property shall exist whatsoever. Suppose if you die over there, you will not get anything unless until there would be your progeny, means your children or somebody else, wife. So actual property distribution under the Muslim law. Then there are two manners in which the property can be divided under the Muslim law, namely through the per capita distribution, through the per strip distribution. Of course, I will explain you with calculation in detail what is per strip and per capita. Sunni law primarily uses the per capita distribution method, and as per this method, estate which has been left behind by the ancestor gets distributed equally among all the heirs. Thus, the share of each individual person depends upon the total number of the heirs in question. Suppose there are 3 children, there are 3 sons are there, let me presume it, and the husband is died, means father is died, then left with the wife and 4 children. In the 4 children, think before the father death, one child died, means one son died. Among the 4, one died, means only 3. At that instance, automatically, the 4th share will not go to the 4th son's children. No. The 4th share will be distributed among the 3, those who are alive. Even though the 4th is having the children. Of course, I will show you in the animation, don't worry. I will show you the animation per capita and per strip, how it can be done. So thus the share of each individual person depends upon the total number of the heirs in question. Then the total number of the heirs from 4 to 3 has come. Then the fourth property will be equally distributed among the 3. However, under the per strip distribution method, which is recognized under the Shia law, the property gets distributed among the heirs according to the strip in which they belong. That I told you that if the husband died, means the father died, mother is alive, 4 brothers are there. If the brother died, then automatically the brother share will go to the other rest of the 3 brothers. But in per strip means, okay, father is there. Of course, mother is not there, father is not there. Let the property is, total property is 1. Then how much they will get each brother? Tell me. Each brother how many get?
Sir, repeat one, sir.
Pardon?
Repeat question one, sir.
Special grant.
Repeat the question, sir.
What is the question? Not which is the question. Question is, prepositus means deceased died and did not leave anybody except the 4 children. Both are 4 are sons. Then how the property will be distributed among them?
1/4.
1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4.
Yes, sir.
Suppose if girl is there, she gets the 1 quantum. With the boys, there will be the 2 quantums. Again, we have to distribute it in that fashion. Suppose one of the brother died, the son died, but he is having the children. One son. Per strip, no, what will happen? Whatever the thing which is going to get 1/4 to the deceased son, that will not go to the 3 among them. Per capita, 3 that goes to the son who is later party is there. That means if the father is not there, it goes to the 1/4 to the that son's son. అంటే ఎవరికైతుంది ప్రిపార్టీస్ డిసీజ్డ్కి గ్రాండ్ సన్కి వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. అది
Grandchildren.
గ్రాండ్ సన్కి వెళ్ళిపోతుంది 1/4 ఎప్పుడు వాళ్ళ ఫాదర్ లేకపోతే. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద ఓన్లీ పర్ స్ట్రిప్ అంటారు. ఓకే, ఇన్ ఫర్దర్ క్లాసెస్ ఐ విల్ షో యూ విత్ ద యానిమేషన్ విత్ ద క్యాలిక్యులేషన్, డోంట్ వరీ. కానీ ఇది నథింగ్ ఈస్ దేర్. The father died, having the 4 sons. Among the 4 sons, the 4th son also died. At that instant, the property will be distributed among the 3 only, not the 4th one, even though he is having a children. Adi per capita. But in Shia law, per strip, whether he died or may not died, the 1/4 would be there. Suppose in case he died, the 1/4 go to the children. So female and the rights to succession under the Muslim law. Oh, under Muslim law, there exists no difference between the rights of the man and woman upon the death of any ancestor. There exists no implement which would prevent either girl or the boy to become the legal heirs of the inheritable property. Very good. However, it has still been noticed that even it comes to the amount of the property, the quantum of the share, the female usually receive half of the male heirs. Half of the male heirs means, suppose she receives half, then the male receives 1. Suppose if we receive 1, the male receives, yes, the male receives 2. If he receives half, the male receives 1. If she receives 1, the male receives 2. If he receives 2, the male receives 4. Means double. Means 2 quantum for the male and 1 quantum for the female. So the reasoning provided behind this is that under the Muslim law, a female shall upon the marriage, because of the Muslim law, what they say, a female upon the marriage, the meher, she will receive it, the maintenance she receive it, whereas the males will have only the property of the ancestor, because male will not receive the meher, male will not receive the meher. Generally, male will not receive the maintenance also. Are you following me? Say yes or no. And moreover, the male has to take care of
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
the male has to take care of the wife, children. Male has to take care of the dependent, like the father, mother. Even the wife is the only one, is the male should have to take care of the father-in-law and mother-in-law too. So that is the reason the male get the 2 shares, 2 quantums, and the female will get భక్తుల్లారా చెప్పండి, భక్తుల్లారా చెప్పండి, లేకుంటే పాస్ అన్నానండి. యూ సే పాస్ అన్, ఐ విల్ గివ్ ద ఆన్సర్. ఉన్నారా భక్తుల్లారా? ఉన్నాం కానీ సార్ సిగ్నల్స్ అప్పుడప్పుడు వస్తలేవు.
ఉన్నాం సార్.
సిగ్నల్స్ వస్తలేవు సార్ అప్పుడప్పుడు, అందుకోసం మీ మాట వినబడతలేదు సార్. నా మాట మీకు వినబడడం కాదు, నా మాట మంచిగానే వినబడుతుంది. మీ మొబైల్ డేటా అలా వీక్ ఉన్నది అంతే. సో ఇఫ్ ద మేల్ గెట్ ద 2 quantum, the female will get 1 quantum. 1 అనద్దు, 1 quantum అనాలా. Yes, next. Read this one. Read this one loudly. Read.
The Muslim law.
Oh, I know there is a problem. In your smartphone system, there is a problem would be there. That's why I could not hear your voice in the middle. Okay, I will read it. Don't worry. Okay, the Muslim law does not exclude or duty or deny the rights of the succession to the widow. A childless Muslim widow is entitled to 1/4. Suppose the childless, she will be entitled to 1/4 widow of the property of the deceased husband after meeting his funeral expenses and legal expenses as well as the debts. However, the widow who has a children or grandchildren is entitled to be 1/8. If there are no children, 1/4. Children, 1/8. Who? Widow. Of whom? Deceased. Widow అంటే ఎవరు? అరే హస్బెండే కదండి, హస్బెండే చదివితేనే విడో అవుతుంది, వైఫ్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే, సో చిల్డ్రన్ ఉంటేమో 1/8. No children, 1/4. In case a Muslim man marries during the illness and a subsequent dies of the said medical condition without any without any brief recovery period, without consummating the marriage, this widow has no right of inheritance whatever. So no BBC, no inheritance. No BBC, no inheritance. BBC, inheritance. However, in case her ailing husband divorces her and later on dies from that said illness, the widow right to share inheritance continue until she marries after that. However, in case of her ailing husband divorces her, whenever it divorces her, later on dies from her said illness. But again, the question comes whether the BBC is there or not is the doubtful here. But when she is entitled for the inheritance means definitely there will be the BBC. The widow's right to a share of inheritance continues until she remarries after that, or what are? It is not a maintenance. It is a inheritance. Okay, maintenance means only up to the death, or she remarries again. Okay, that is the thing which is where we can make it out. So now let us see. Yes, can you make it this one? I want to see whether your mobile data is good or not. Yes, read. READ.
The rights of a child in the womb over the property. Every child which is still in the womb is entitled to acquire his right of
Miss Hindi.
embryo is regarded as a living person, and thus the property vests immediately in the child without any discrepancies. However, in case the child in the womb is not born alive, the share that has already been vested in it shall get divested, and it is then presumed that no such heir existed whatsoever.
So a child in the womb, yes, he or she may be entitled, provided the child is viable at least for the 24 hours. In case it's not viable, would be there, it will be revert back to the person who has devolved over there. If he died over there, it goes back to his estate property. So, manner of restoring the estate. What is estate? Anyone? What is the
Government.
estate?
Government.
Pardon?
Government.
Covenant. Repeat.
Government, sir, government.
When no one is there, the heirs, then it goes to the government. That process is called estate. Estate means not government. If no lineal heirs are there, no legal heirs are there, no kindreds are there, no residues are there, then the property devolves on the government in the process of the estate. The process is called estate. In case a deceased Muslim individual has no legal heirs under the Muslim law, his property are inherited by the government through the process, Chapandi.
Process of estate.
Process of estate. Estate means not government. It's only the process. Through it, the government will get it. The provision for the marriage under the Special Marriage Act 1954 దాంట్లో ఏం అప్లికబుల్ అవుతుందండి? ఎవరికండి ఇది ప్రొవిజన్? స్పెషల్ మ్యారేజ్ యాక్ట్ ఆఫ్ 1954. చెప్పాలి, తెలిస్తే చెప్పండి, లేకుంటే ఇట్స్ పాస్.
Sir, if Muslim husband and non-Muslim wife they marry, it is according to Special Marriage Act.
Special Marriage Act will be applicable irrespective of any religion, caste and creed, those who are domiciled in India. If they are not domiciled also in India, but Indian residing in the foreign country also, it will be applicable. Can you tell me who are the Bollywood stars who got married? Yes? Under the Special Marriage Act, they got married. Sir, Dharmendra Hema Malini. No, they married according to the Muslim law. Sir, Saira Banu and Dilip Kumar. No, they married under the Muslim law. Yes? Saif Ali Khan.
Awesome, sir.
Saif Ali Khan, who is another actor.
Saif Ali Khan and Amrita.
No, Amrita Reddy. Kareena Kapoor. Is it Kareena Kapoor?
Okay, Kareem.
Hmm? They married under the Special Marriage Act. Huh? Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So, Special Marriage Act is the special provision would be there. The case of the Muslim individual contacts the marriage under the Special Marriage Act of 1954, he ceases to be a Muslim because the Muslim word would not be there. And for the purpose of the inheritance, thus, accordingly, after the death of such a Muslim, his her property does not devolve under the Muslim law of inheritance because the marriage is conducted through the Special Marriage Act. Hence, all the children, irrespective of the caste and creed, the Special Marriage Act provisions would be applicable to them. The inheritance of the properties of such Muslims is governed with the provision of the Indian Succession Act 1925. Those who married under the Special Marriage Act, for them, Indian Succession Act will be applicable to them 1925 because they are ceased to be the Muslims, because they are all treated to be as alike. For all alike people, those who married, no, generally the Indian Succession Act will come into the picture when the matter dealt in that way. So Indian Succession Act, Muslim Shariat law, Muslim person law, testamentary will, property, estate, all those things are there. But in the further classes, you will come across how it can be done. You will see it. Because when you happen to see the syllabus, we come across inheritance. Inheritance is the property will be devolved through the process of the succession. So the process is called the succession. With the succession, will inherit the property from the deceased. So that is the Sunni and Shia law succession. The Shia law sharers are different. There are only 9. Sunni law sharers are 12. And the Sunni law, there are 3 types of the sharers are there. Who are they? Under Sunni law, 3 types of the sharers. Just now I told in the class. Repeat. Say pass on, don't waste the time.
Sharers, residuaries, distant kindred.
Very good, very good. So in the Shia law, there are only 2 types are there. Number 1, the Quranic sharers, those comes only 7th or 9th, I will tell you later. But residuaries only. So now here doctrine of owl and rod, and if you study total Sunni law and sharers, if the father is there, how much will you get? If the mother is there, how much will you get? Mother is having no children, how much will you get? If the mother and children are there and father is there, how much we get? If the father and mother is there, proposita is there and wife is there and 2 children are there, 1 child is a son, 1 child is a daughter, how much you will get? There are many permutation combinations are there. With the animation that I will show you one after another in the next class, so that it will be very much easy to understand that what the inheritance is. Now, even I also prepared the other things. Still, you have inheritance. Inheritance, yes, inheritance, yeah. Okay, this is, yeah. Okay, now the provisions, how it will be applicable, we will see it. Then I want to show some other thing also. Succession versus, yeah. So here we will come across what is succession, what is inheritance. You will see just till it will be closed down, I will show you. Succession and inheritance difference, you know it now. What is succession and inheritance difference? The act of following in sequence is succession. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. An inheritance, the passing of title to an estate upon death is inheritance. Because he inherited the property after the death of a person. Succession is a sequence of a thing in order. Inheritance, that which a person is entitled to inherit by the law or testament. Here, succession a passing of a royal powers, and inheritance is the biological attribute passed hereditary from ancestor to their offspring. A group of rocks or strata that succeed one another in chronological order is the succession. But inheritance, the object-oriented programming, the mechanism whereby the parts of this superclass are available to instances for its subclass. Succession, a race or series of descendants. Inheritance, the act of state of inheriting as the inheritance of an estate, the inheritance of a mental or a physical qualities. Succession, agricultural rotation as a crops, that which are maybe inherited, that which is derived by an heir from an ancestor or other persons, a heritage, a possession which passes by descendant. When the man dies, let the inheritance descendants onto the daughter. So this way we can make a right to take possession succession. Here, a paramount valuable possession of a blessing, especially when received by gift or without purchase, or a benefaction. It is to an inheritance incorporatable and undefiled that fadeth not away. In succession, historical Romans and Scots law taking the property by one person in place of another. But here, possession, ownership, acquisition is there in the inheritance. In succession, the person who succeeds to rank or office as a successor or a heir. But in inheritance, transmission and reception by an animal or a plant or a generation. Means transmission is very much important. Through that, inheritance should be there. So, like this, there are succession and inheritance. But what we know is a succession is the process of it where a person inherits the property from the ancestors or from the testamentary or non-testamentary way, intestate or testate way. So these are all the differences that you can find it. The person succeeded to the rank of office and so on and so forth. But what we need to say is succession is a process through which a person inherits the property when the person died. Means the owner, the propositus, means person who is the breadwinner or the person who is equally responsible for maintaining the property. If he dies, yes, if the father dies, of course mother will be entitled. If the mother dies, the father will be entitled with the children. So in this way that we'll see it in the next class, what are the shares and how the shares are there. So now I would like to say goodbye to you by showing the thanks. Yes, where is the thanks? Okay. Here it is. No, it is not here. Yes. So with this, yeah. So thank you very much for your patient listening, and we'll meet you tomorrow at 5:10. Have a good day. Goodbye.
Thank you,
భక్తులారా
sir.
ఉన్నారా అండి?
Thank you,
ఏం
sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
భక్తులు ఏం